Hey guys, it's Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today we're going to take a look back at the prize picks and player props yesterday. So let me get this lined up for you. Now, if you're new to this sheet or you've never seen one of our videos, over here we have our player name, we have the prize pick prop, we have the line, and then we have all this other good information. The one thing that we're missing here is the DVP. I accidentally deleted it out after I had uploaded everything, so I went ahead and left it off for this video. We have our cheat line here, which is our custom line. We have our last 7-day average, so you can see if a player is hot or cold. And then we have 3 different websites with their projections, because I know people love projections and love seeing the differences. We have streaks. How many streaks have they went over or under? And then also we have a last 5 and last 10 hit rate, which is similar to the props.cash. And then over here we have the last 10 game logs, which you can see. And if it's green, it went over. If it's red, it went under. So it's color-coded for the last 10 games they have played. So you can get a good idea of a hit rate and kind of how that player is doing. We also have our confidence percentage, which is basically the higher the confidence percentage, we like the over. If it's low, we like the under. So I like to flip back about 3, 4, 5 days a week and take a look at it. So what I do when I open up the sheet in the morning is I add these 2 columns over here. I add the actual result of what that was compared to the prize pick line, and I got a nice little color code here that says if it went over or if it went under, so we can get a good idea. We also have player labels here. People love these in DFS. So over here on the DFF side, people are used to seeing like these diamond plays, mini diamond, and kind of get an idea. So I wanted to bring some in for props as well. Now, you have to be careful with player props because a lot of stuff changes in the NBA. A player could be projected under, he could be going under 8 of his last 10 games, but all of a sudden somebody is out. Now he's a starter, and instead of playing 20 minutes, he's going to play 35 minutes. So you have to keep an eye on that because the projections will usually catch it, but I don't look at a lot of projections, so that's something that I have to look at. So over here, if you see anything that's hot, those are going to be our top plays. We have hot over, hot under. Hot over T2, that's kind of the second tier of over. Hot over pick would be kind of the top play. And I think that's one where our model is over. The last 7-day average, he's way over. And then 2 of the 3 projection models also have him going over. And we've got hot unders, which you can see here. Last 7 fire, tough spot, etc., etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at my cheat sheet projections and look at those lines. We're going to sort this by the gap, which is the difference of us versus this line. So for example, Claxton is 29.5. That's what his fantasy score prop released at on the 4:30 update yesterday. We had him at 37.5, so we had it by a difference of 8. So we're looking at the difference here. So if you get something that's 1.5 to 2, you're only going to see a 0.5 difference, not necessarily a percentage difference. So I always sort this to see kind of what we did that day. So these are the ones we liked going over, and it was a really good day. So here you can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 out of the top 10, we went over on our line. So anything with a difference of 4 or more, we went 9 and 1 on. So that's pretty good. But I mean, just looking down this list here, we did really good on this top run of plays. We had a ton of overs. I'm not going to add them up and look at all the differences, but anyways, bunch of overs. So that was a really good day for us. Looking at the unders, these are the ones that are less. Now, we don't have a lot of information on Durant because he wasn't there, so let's cross that out and not pay attention to it because his last 7-day average is 0, which pulls these number down. So we're actually looking about here down for unders. And you can see there were a lot of overs, some unders, about 50-50. You know, nothing great, but we did really good on the overs. Looking at the confidence percentage, we're going to sort that high to low. It did pretty good. We had a big chunk of overs across here, about 60%, so that's good. Confidence percentage unders did really good. Unders have been hot recently. And so you can see here a lot of our stuff, we have 70% under rates. That's kind of a default if it doesn't meet any of the other parameters. But let's see what this is. 3, 6, we got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 unders and 5, 6, 7, about 19 and 5, 19 and 6 on the unders on the confidence percentage. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Looking at players in the last 7, whether they are hot or not. So the players that were hot, About 50-50. Nothing great jumps out at me there. Let's look at the players who are cold. Again, we're not looking at Durant because he didn't have any games, so we're kind of looking about here. And a lot of those that were cold, there's a big chunk of overs that hit here. So Jalen Brunson, yeah, that one's pretty common. Some of these other guys went over. And then projections. Now, I don't use projections. I actually don't even look at the projections, but people love them and they love to see the difference. So we are going to take a look at them. So our first one, Fantasy Alarm, the games that were projected over, they absolutely flippin' crushed it. Which typically it is a last 7 day will smash it, or the projections will smash it. That's kind of, it goes back and forth. There's not one that's super consistent. But Fantasy Alarm absolutely smashed here. Look at all of these overs. So they did really well. I'm not going to add it up, but that's about 80-85%. Let's look at the Fantasy Alarm unders. Not too bad. They hit their top 4 unders, which 3 of them were the same guy. And then we flip down here and a little over 50%, so pretty good. Fantasy Pros, they've been the least accurate so far, but let's take a look at them. And again, they don't do free throws made, so we have to come down here to this range. And so they weren't too bad. They weren't as good as Fantasy Alarm, but they did get 4, 8, 9. So 9 out of their top 10 all went over. But again, Durant was 4 of those. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. And it looks like Bam Bam was 3 of them. So 2 of the players ate up most of their stuff. And then looking at the Fantasy Pros unders, again, the top one's not going, they didn't even project Jaylen Brown. Over here, oh wow, they absolutely smashed the unders. Look at that. So I don't know how many that is. I'm not going to add them up, but only 2 losses in the top, I'd say 30. So 30-2 on unders. So, all right, well, Fantasy Pros had a bounce back day, I would guess. So let's take a look at Roto. Roto overs, they absolutely did well. So whenever they all do well, it's usually a pretty good sign. So you can see here they had a large chunk of overplays as well. And what's funny is they each had a different top play for an over. But let's look at Roto unders, and okay, yeah, they did pretty good there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15-5, 15-6. So that's really good. So yesterday the projections were good. Fantasy Alarm takes the cake. We added them in after the All-Star break, and yeah, they absolutely crushed that yesterday. That was a good split there. Streaks, hit rates, these really don't mean a lot, but we'll take a look at them anyway. So last 10 hit rates, let's see, the 90%. 4 out of the 5 hit. Well, I guess you can't really look at Durant because he switched teams, and that was his debut game, so a little bit different there. So we're not going to look at those, but I do want to look at some of the player suggestions and kind of see how they did yesterday. So looking at these, let's start at the top, and we are going to do hot over pick, hot over tier 2, and let's do this hot plus DVP over. That's kind of the tier 3. Over here, so you can see they did 4-2, so 4 out of 6 ain't bad. The hot over pick, that's our top play, and that's going to be a significant difference between most of the projection models as well as the last 7-day average, and a hit rate of 70% or better. And you can see here that one went over. Mitchell Robinson's fantasy score line was 25.5 and it ended at 32.5, so pretty good on that play. Let's take a look. We got hot under. The top end under play didn't work, so hot under tier 2. We're going to take a look at that one. So it did not as well. So we got 5, 10, 5, and 9. So not great, but you can see a lot of these, there's one player. When one player goes over on one prop, he goes over on all, so that kind of pulls the number down. So not as good on the hot unders. Last 7 fire, these are just kind of players that have been hot, not a real indication, just someone that you should take a look at if they don't meet. So 2 of the 3 went over, not too bad. Heating up, this one went under. One guy, Lillard, yeah, Lillard's been on absolute fire. His lines are so high. Good DVP. These have actually been pretty good. Looks like it was about 50-50 yesterday. But good DVP plays have been hitting really good. Bad DVP under. So looking at that one slid over. I keep getting a lot of spam calls. Sorry about that. Over there, and then we've got some of these others. 3 over, 3 under projections. So when you're looking at these, this is just kind of a default if it gets down to the end. So this 3 over projection just means all 3 websites are projecting the game to go over. And then the 3 under projections means they are all projecting it to go under, which look at that. When they all 3 projected to go under, look at how many of those unders actually hit. So unders have been kind of the way to go lately. They've been red hot. So I just wanted to do a recap of the sheet, kind of show you what it looks like, what we're looking at. Let me click this off here. And again, the cheat lines, these are mine. Last 7-day average, it's 7-day, not 7-game. And then we have 3 projection sites, hit rates, and a good little indicator for you to play with. The biggest thing is just come up with a process. Find a way that you like to look at the sheet and follow that process every single day. If you try to bounce back and forth and do fantasy alarm one day, then do the cheat sheet line one day, and then do the heat rates or hit rates one day, you're going to drive yourself mad because you're never going to hit it. So what I've noticed going back over the last month and really digging into this is projections typically fall about 50-50 on the over props. However, there are days when they hit, they smash. I don't know if it's certain teams. I don't know what the correlation is, but there are just days where the projections go nuts. So if you follow projections, follow them every day. You'll have days you miss. You'll have days you end up at 50-50, and you'll have some days where you catch fire. The cheat gap, that's kind of my go-to. I come in, I sort by this, take a look at it, which you can see yesterday it did really, really good. But typically, if the projections do good, mine are usually going to do good because it's similar, but I look at some different parameters as well. Or if you just look at the confidence percentage, you can sort that by high and then go ahead and take a look at these top 20 plays and pick out of there. That gives you a good probability. Or if you want unders, sort it from low to high and pick out of there. So if you would have did 30% and under and said, okay, I'm going to pick some unders out of here, you would have had a great shot at getting an undercard through. But anyways, I like to look back, do a quick video, show you guys what I'm looking at, what I see, and you guys have a good day.